Only you can make me move.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I know that I have posted like 3 or 4 story times in a row so far. I'm so sorry. I promise I will not do a story time for my next video maybe. But I had something happen yesterday that just really pissed me off, and I'm still kind of mad about it. I don't know if I'm going to do anything or not, but I just thought that I would tell the story and get it out on the internet, and maybe it will make me feel better. And I'm sorry if I seem a little down. I'm just like kind of out of it right now, and it's just like 1 in the morning, but when do I not film it? Freaking like 1 or 3 in the morning. I mean, come on. So yesterday I went to Walmart, and as everyone knows, Walmart is hell. I hate going there. Actually, I used to work there, and I have plenty of stories I could tell about that, but I worked there for like 2 years, and it's the same one that I worked at. But now they have all of these new people, and I swear that every year they just get new 16-year-olds to come in and they work the late shift, and I never go in during the day because I sleep all day. But I've gone in there, and I have had shitty service from the same person like 3 different times. So I'm going to tell you about each individual time, and I promise this is not going to be a freaking long video because it's really not that much. But just all of it just really put me in a shitty mood, and I hate this bitch now. So let me just describe to you what this person is like. This girl is about 5'3", and she is a larger gal, like she's heavier, and normally I wouldn't point that out, but I want you guys to think of what this girl looks like. I want you to have a clear visual in your mind. So she's short and fat, and she has red, wavy, unkept hair, and she has really bad resting bitch face. Like, that is the best way I can describe her. Anyone who has seen her knows exactly who she is when I describe her that way, so just picture someone like that. And the first incident happened probably about 2 months ago. So I always go to self-checkout because when I go to Walmart, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to get my shit and get out. So I went and I had to buy a phone card because I go through Straight Talk or whatever, which is, you know, like a track phone service, but it's like having a regular phone. And I went to buy my phone card. So I go to the back of the store, get my phone card, and go up front, and I'm checking out. And every time I buy a phone card, I pay with a $50 bill. Like, it doesn't matter. I always pay with the $50 because it's like $47 or some shit like that. And I go to self-checkout and I scan my stuff, and I'm like hurrying up because I don't want to be there. I have someone waiting in the car for me, so I was like, shit, let me just get this and then I'll get out of here. So I scan the card and I get it all checked out, and then I go and I put a $50 bill into the reader, and it rings it up as a 5. And so I like call her over and I'm like, hey, this just read my 50 as a 5, like, is there anything you can do? So she calls a manager down, and the entire time when she's talking to me, she's treating me like I am a fucking criminal, like I'm trying to rip Walmart off, like they don't have enough money, which, like, I remember putting the 50 in. And so the entire time she's just treating me like I'm stupid, and she's like, well, are you sure that it wasn't a 5? Like, I can't believe that it would read a 50 as a 5. Just being a total bitch. And I was like, oh my gosh, whatever. So they come down and they can't find the 50, and so, like, it might have just been my fault, but it doesn't matter about that. It matters about how she was treating a customer, and that's what really pissed me off about that situation. So after I paid and I like got my phone card and left, she like glared at me as I walked out the door, and I was like, okay, bye, thanks, I guess. And that was the first incident. Now the second incident I'm gonna tell you about is the one that like really just pissed me off. Like, the third one that I'm going to tell you about, it kind of pissed me off a little bit, but kind of just pushed me over the edge. This one though pissed me off so much. So for this one, I went to Walmart with my significant other, and I'm going to call him Brad in this video, and I may end up changing his name later, but for now we're going to refer to him as Brad. So Brad and I decided that we're going to go to Walmart and do some grocery shopping because we had to get him some lunch stuff. And a couple of his friends are like, oh, I'll go with you. One of them being his coworker and the other one being his best friend. And so it was me and these 3 dudes, and we're all like going through the store, and one of his friends, his name's Gary, decides to try and put something in my cart. Something just totally ridiculous. I think it was Spam or something like that. And if you have no idea what Spam is, it's disgusting. That's all you need to know. But he put Spam in my cart, and I was like, this mother effer, I'm gonna get him back. So I put the Spam in his cart, and then I put a box of root beer Pop-Tarts or Fanta Pop-Tarts, which disgusting, right? But I snuck those 2 things in his cart. Just 2 things, that was it. And we went through the entire store and Gary did not notice that I had put that in there. And you know, it was just fun. Like, he kept trying to put stuff in my cart and he did not get me once, I'll have you know. But anyway, so we did that and we went to check out, and when he was checking out, he was like, what the hell? How'd you get that in my cart? And it was really funny, and we were all just laughing and having a good time. And that lady is at self-checkout now, and so he pulls this out and he says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get this. And she puts it in a box. And let me just clear this up right now before someone's in the comments like, oh, well, they have to put that shit back. Like, you probably made her night so much worse. No, this is how it works. He gives her something that he didn't mean to grab. She puts it in a box. It goes to customer service. And then customer service calls for people in each department to put the shit away. She did not have to do anything. Just remember that, because I did cashiering and I did customer service. So I know this shit. So anyways, I put those 2 things in there and he was just laughing, and the entire time she's like rolling her eyes and glaring at me, and she's like, just don't go shopping with them again, don't go shopping with them again. And that pissed me off, because like, you're being a bitch for no reason. Like, we were just having a good time, and this was the day of my 21st birthday. Like, I had gone out to dinner with these guys and it was a really good time, so I was not in the mood to get pissed off by this girl, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, lighten up. And so we did that. Well, then Brad, I don't remember what I decided to call him, Brad, I think. Brad grabbed a sucker from up at the registers and just like put it in Gary's cart just to mess with him. And she goes over and she's like, don't do that. And she grabs it out of Gary's cart and she was like, I saw that one. And she puts it back where it goes and like storms back to the entrance of the self-checkouts. And I was like, oh my gosh. And Brad, this is the first time he's ever had any type of communication with her. And when we leave, I'm like, I do not like that bitch. Like, every time I come in here, she is so rude to me, and I'm done. And so that was the second incident. And after that, he kind of like didn't like her. And that was the big one. And the thing that pissed me off most about this situation is the fact that she's like, don't go shopping with them again. Don't go shopping with them again. And just, I don't know. It just, when people tell other people what to do, it puts me in the worst mood. And I know that I have said that things piss me off through this entire video, but seriously, like, what else can I say? So that brings us to the third incident. This one happened yesterday, and I didn't really want to go to Walmart yesterday, but we had to because we had to get more lunch stuff for Brad, which I know that it seems like we're there all the time buying his lunch stuff, which is really the only reason why I even go there. But we go in and we did not get that much stuff, like just a couple of things, and I wanted to get some makeup brushes or whatever, so we went and we got like probably 5 things, maybe less. And we go over, and she's not even working the self-checkouts this time, but there's a girl that has brown hair and glasses, and she's really friendly, but she looks pretty young, about 16, maybe 17, I don't know, a high schooler. And one of the things that we bought, it's Italian ice. If you've never had it, it's like a dairy-free ice cream type thing, I don't know, but we were getting those, and for some reason the registers, like whether it was self-checkout or a regular register, wasn't reading it, which is fine, like not a big deal. And Brad and I had a conversation about how much they cost. He said that they were less than $3 because he was debating between getting those and a different one, and it was like $1 difference. So we had a conversation, and he said that these were like $2 something, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. And we get up there and they won't ring up, and so we call the lady over and we're like, oh, hey, these won't ring up. And she's like, oh, well, let me try and figure it out. So she tries to like key in the code or whatever, and then it doesn't work. So the girl, the bitch that I don't like, the one that wasn't actually even working the self-checkouts, is sitting in the subway, which is just like right across the aisle from where we're at. And so she asks her like, hey, do you know how much these are? And she's like, I think those are close to $4 or a little over. And Brad's like, actually they're not, like they were $2 something when I looked. And she was like, no, but I'm pretty sure that they were like $4. And he's like, but they weren't. I was like, yeah, we actually had a conversation about the price or whatever. And then he was like, you know what? How about I go back and take a picture of the UPC? That way I can prove to you that I'm not trying to steal from you. And the girl who's sitting in Subway, instead of just minding her own business and being like, oh, I don't know, she's just like totally set that these are more expensive. And, you know, it's only $1, like we don't care. But just because I don't like her and I know how she is, I was like, oh my gosh, this is pissing me off. So Brad walks all the way back to the groceries, which is clear at the other end of the store, takes a picture of the UPC and brings it back up. And the entire time while he's like bringing it back up and showing the girl that's working the registers, the girl in Subway is like glaring at him. And so he starts glaring back, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I do not like confrontation. Like, I won't call people out. I won't like show them what they're doing is wrong, because I just don't like that. It gives me really bad anxiety. But he is just like, oh my gosh, I don't know. But we ended up getting them for the right price. It was like $278 or $287. I don't know. I swear I'm not dyslexic, but I might be. And that is how that one ended up. And to be honest, like, I kind of thought about calling the store and complaining about her, but to be honest, Walmart does not give two shits about what happens. Like, as long as they have people working, they don't really care unless you call in too many times. But anyways, I just wanted to get on here and vent about this, and I guess the moral of the story is don't be a bitch if you're working in customer service. Like, I did that shit for 2 years, and if I was a bitch, I would get in huge trouble for it. And I don't know. I just wanted to share this story, and I guess it did get a little bit longer. It's over 10 minutes, so I'm sorry about that. I lied. But I will talk to you guys in the next video, and thank you so much for watching.